Good morning, everybody. Myself Gitanjali Behera, Principal IC, College of Nursing, Bhimsar, Burla. I am here to discuss about active management of COVID-19 wave 2 cases. Second wave of COVID-19. Again, we are having war with invisible corona. There is rapid transmission, children and young too affected. No specific treatment. Vaccination of all time taking. Management is challenging. Now we will discuss about type of COVID-19 cases. There are 4 types of cases, that is mild, moderate, severe and critical. Mild cases are treated in home or in COVID care center. Moderate cases are admitted to dedicated COVID health center. Severe and critical cases are admitted into dedicated COVID hospital where the critical care facilities is available. Clinical assessment of the patient. What is clinical assessment? Clinical assessment is an evaluation of a patient's physical condition and prognosis, which is based on information gathered from physical and laboratory examination. After the clinical assessment of the patient, we can differentiate the case as mild, moderate, severe, and critical. In mild cases, the symptoms are fever, cough, malaise, rhinorrhea, means running nose, sore throat, and no shortness of breath. These patients are required only home isolation and care. In moderate cases, symptoms are shortness of breath, high-grade fever that is more than 103 degree Fahrenheit, pneumonia on chest X-ray, respiratory rate more than 24 per minute, oxygen saturation level is 92 less than 93%. These patients are required hospitalization. In severe cases, respiratory rate is more than 30 per minute, breathlessness and oxygen saturation level is less than 90%. In critical cases, all symptoms of severe cases plus hypotension or worsening mental status or multi-organ dysfunction syndrome. These patients are required ICU facilities. Then we will discuss about management of adult COVID-19 patient. According to their severity, we will manage the case. Mild diseases. How we will manage the mild diseases? In mild cases, the mild cases should advise for must dose and main dose. In must dose, they should maintain physical distancing. That means at least 6 feet distance between two people. Indoor mask use. They should use masks in home and they should maintain strict hand hygiene. Symptomatic management includes hydration, antipyretic for fevers, antitussive for cough, and multivitamins. Stay in contact with treating physician, monitor temperature and oxygen saturation, and they should seek immediate medical attention if they will develop difficulty in breathing, high-grade fever, or severe cough lasting for more than 5 days. A low threshold to be kept for those with any of the high-risk features such as hypertension, diabetes, and age more than 60. For main dose, there are certain therapies based on low certainty of evidence. Tablet ivermectin. The dose is 200 microgram per kg once a day for 3 days. Avoid in pregnant and lactating women. Or tablet hydroxychloroquine. The dose is 400 microgram BD for 1 day followed by 400 microgram OD for 4 days unless contraindicated. Inhalational budesonide or metered dose inhaler, dry powder inhaler at a dose of 800 microgram BD for 5 days to be given if symptoms, fever and or cough are persistent beyond 5 days of disease. In moderate diseases, the cases are admitted in ward. They require oxygen support. As a nursing officer, you have to maintain the target SpO2 level, that is 92 to 96%. In COPD cases, that is 80 to 92%. Preferred devices for oxygenation is non-rebreathing face masks and our proning encouraged in all patients requiring supplemental oxygen therapy. Anti-inflammatory or immunomodulatory therapy. Injection methylprednisolone 0.5 to 1 mg per kg in 2 divided dose or an equivalent dose of dexamethasone, usually for a duration of 5 to 10 days. Patient may be initiated or switched to oral route if stable and or improving. Anticoagulation. Conventional dose prophylactic unfractionated heparin or low molecular weight heparin, weight-based example enoxaparin 0.5 mg per kg per day, subcutaneous. There should be no contraindication or high risk of bleeding. There are certain monitoring in clinical monitoring, work of breathing, hemodynamic instability, change in oxygen requirement, serial chest X-ray, high resolution of computed tomography of the chest to be done only if there is worsening. Lab monitoring of C-reactive protein and D-dimer, that is 48 to 72 hourly, complete blood count, kidney function test, liver function test 24 to 48 hourly, and interleukin 6 level to be done if deteriorating. After clinical improvement, discharge of the patient advised as per the discharge criteria. In severe diseases, the patient should be admitted in ICU and they should require respiratory support. As a nursing officer, she or he should give respiratory support by the use of non-invasive ventilation, by helmet or face mask, or by the use of high flow nasal cannula. Intubation should be prioritized in patients with high work of breathing. Use conventional ARDS net protocol for ventilatory management. Anti-inflammatory or immunomodulatory therapy. Injection methylprednisolone, that is 1 to 2 mg per kg IV in 2 divided doses. Anticoagulation. Weight-based intermediate dose prophylactic unfractionated heparin or low molecular weight heparin, that is 0.5 mg per kg per dose subcutaneous BT. There should be no contraindication or high risk of bleeding. Supportive measures. Maintain euvolemia. Euvolemia means presence of the proper amount of blood in the body. If sepsis or septic shock, manage as per existing protocol and local antibiogram. Monitoring serial chest X-ray, high resolution of a computed tomography of the chest to be done only if there is worsening. Lab monitoring such as C-reactive protein and D-dimer 24 to 48 hourly, complete blood count, kidney function test, liver function test daily. Interleukin 6 to be done if deteriorating. After clinical improvement, discharge as per revised discharge criteria. Then indications. Some drugs that can be used in specific circumstances. Remdesivir may be considered only in patients with moderate to severe disease, no renal or hepatic dysfunction, who are within 10 days of symptoms. Dose is 200 microgram IV on day 1, followed by 100 mg IV OD for next 4 days. Not to be used in patients who are not in oxygen support or in home setting. Tocilizumab may be considered presence of severe disease within 24 to 48 hours of onset of severe disease, raised inflammatory markers, CRP and interleukin 6, not improving despite use of steroids, no active bacteria, fungal or tubercular infection. Dose is 4 to 6 mg per kg in 100 ml NS over 1 hour. Convalescent plasma therapy is used in early to moderate disease. Convalescent plasma therapy means blood from people who have already recovered from illness to help the other people. Then we will discuss about the nursing management. Nursing management includes assessment, diagnosis, planning and goal, intervention and evaluation. What is assessment? Assessment is the first step of nursing process. It is a systemic and dynamic way to collect and analyze data about a client. Diagnosis. Diagnosis is the nurse's clinical judgment about the patient's health condition and needs. Then we will discuss about planning and goal. After the nursing diagnosis, she should make a plan and fix a goal to give care to the patient. Intervention. Intervention are the treatment and actions that are performed to help the patient to reach the goals that are set for them. Then evaluation. Evaluation means outcomes. Whether the expected outcomes are met or not, you should be evaluated. Assessment includes history and physical examination. In history, the travel history, whether the patient traveled in the last 14 days or contact with laboratory confirmed cases or they come from hotspots or containment zones. Physical examination. In physical examination, you have to examine the symptoms of influenza, fever more than 38 degrees centigrade, and cough, symptoms of severe acute respiratory infections, that means SARI, breathlessness, and fatigue. Body ache, chest congestion, GI upset such as nausea, heartburn, anosmia means loss of smell, ageusia means loss of taste. In respiratory and cardiovascular status, you have to count the respiratory rate and breathing pattern, oxygen saturation level. In cardiovascular system, monitor the heart rate, heart sounds, blood pressure, capillary fill time, and mean arterial pressure. And also assess the anxiety level of the patient and development of acute respiratory distress syndrome. After the assessment of the client, you have to find the problem and needs of the patient. According to the problem and need of the patient, you have to provide care according to their problem. Impaired breathing pattern due to COVID-19 disease. So, for the impaired breathing pattern, you have to assess for sign of difficulty in breathing, provide probed up position, proning encouraged in all patients requiring supplemental oxygen therapy. Avoid disconnecting the patient from ventilator. Administer fluids conservatively to prevent pulmonary edema. Then impaired hemodynamic status. Hemodynamics means hemo means blood, dynamic means movement. The movement of the blood throughout the body. In impaired hemodynamic status, you have to assess fluid balance and skin temperature of the patient, assess tissue perfusion, apply conservative fluid strategy to avoid fluid overload. So you have to give fluid according to the need of the client. It may cause, if you will give extra fluid or a large amount of fluid, it will cause fluid overload or pulmonary edema. Give isotonic crystalloid and avoid hypotonic crystalloid. Isotonic crystalloids are normal saline and ringol lactate and avoid hypotonic crystalloid, that is dextrose and normal saline and dextrose. Administer medications which include noradrenaline and dobutamine. In septic shock, in COVID-19 cases, the septic shock is a life-threatening condition. So, as a nursing officer, you have to assess the sign of shock. What are the sign of shock? In sign of shock, the cold and clammy skin, blood pressure become very low, and confusion. These are the sign of shock. Then monitor the patient for hypotension, decreased mean arterial pressure, give 30 ml per kg of isotonic crystalloid in adult in first 3 hours, monitor for fluid overload, glucocorticoid can be used for short period. Inadequate nutrition. For inadequate nutrition, monitor weight and body mass index of the patient, monitor the intake and output, monitor blood glucose level, provide nutritious food to the patient, encourage small and frequent meals. If on NG feeding, feed every 2 hourly. If on IV fluid, administer fluid strictly as prescribed. As a nursing officer, you have to calculate the body mass index by using formula. The formula is weight in kg by height in meter square. Then anxiety related to disease condition. For the reduction of anxiety, as a nursing officer, you have to provide comfortable environment to the patient, establish good rapport with the client, encourage to ventilate his or her feelings, answer the queries of the patient, encourage family interaction through video calling, teach stress reduction and relaxation techniques. How to manage the stress? For the stress management, techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, yoga, music, advise the patient and family member to be optimistic. Patient's medication and nutrition should be taken care of. Risk for pressure sores. Due to disease conditions, the patient may prone for longer period in bed and causes pressure sores. For the pressure sores, assess the pressure points, change the position every 2 hourly, provide back care, use appropriate comfort devices, use alpha mattress for comfort, provide high protein, high calorie diet, encourage early mobilization so that pressure sores will be prevented. Then risks for cross infection. As COVID-19 is a contagious disease and it will be transfer the infection from one person to another. So as a nursing personnel, you have to aware about cross infection of the disease. So all team members for care and support must done appropriate PP prior to attending to a patient regardless of urgency of situation. Perform meticulous hand hygiene, explain the importance of quarantine, describe how to wash hand, wear masks and disinfect floor. Discharge of COVID-19 cases. How to discharge the cases from hospital. The patient can be discharged after 10 days of symptoms and no fever for 3 days, no need of testing prior to discharge. The patient will be advised to isolate himself at home, self-monitor for health. Revised discharge policy for COVID-19. Confirmed COVID-19 cases. In mild cases, discharge after 10 days of symptoms onset and no fever for 3 days. There is no need for RT-PCR test before discharge. In moderate cases, those cases are fever resolved within 3 days and oxygen saturation maintained without support. These patients should discharge after 10 days of symptoms onset, absence of fever without antipyretic, resolution of breathlessness, and no oxygen requirement. This type of patient should not require RT-PCR test before discharge. In another moderate type of cases, those patients are not resolved the symptoms and demand of oxygen therapy continues. These patients discharge only after resolution of clinical symptoms, ability to maintain oxygen saturation for 3 consecutive days. Those patients also not required RT-PCR test before discharge. In severe double star cases, discharge only after clinical recovery, patient tested negative once by RT-PCR after resolution of symptoms. Then how to manage the dead body? As dead body is contagious, so as a nursing personnel, you have to maintain standard precaution to be followed by healthcare workers while handling dead bodies of COVID-19 cases. Preparing and packing the body in body bag for transfer to an autopsy unit, mortuary or burial site. Environmental cleaning and disinfection should be maintained. Give the family clear instruction not to touch or kiss the body because it is a contagious disease. Embalming of dead body should not be allowed. Embalming means preserving the dead body. So preserving of the dead body should not be allowed. Autopsies should be avoided unless medically. If autopsy is to be performed for special reasons, infection prevention control practice and universal precautions should be adopted. Number of persons during funeral should not exceed more than 20 persons. The funeral, burial and family members should follow standard precaution. Health education. As a nursing officer, you have to aware the people by giving health education. The health educations are stay home, expect get medical care, stay away from others, use a separate bathroom if available, wear a covering over nose and mouth, wash hands with soap and water at least 20 seconds or with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, contains 60% calorie and protein-rich diet with lots of fruits and vegetables should be eaten. Drink immunoboosting herbal drinks like kadha, turmeric milk, green tea, and herbal tea should be advised. Rehydrate your body by taking 8 to 10 glasses of water, get enough rest and sleep, and be positive. Thank you.